All right. Hello there, ladies, gentlemen, gamers, and TikTok enthusiasts. Welcome back. Welcome back to another amazing, great, fantabulous TikTok reaction. I don't even remember what number we're up to. I think we're up to number 10. The big 1-0. We're finally in the double digits. Hopefully, we get to triple digits. So, what are we doing today? We're doing the same thing as all the other days that we react to TikToks. We're gonna react to TikToks. However, there's some things I have to say in the beginning of this. Number one, I am doing this live on Twitch TV/Technics channel. I usually wait till the end to advertise my stream, but since I'm doing this one live, I'll put it in the beginning because I might do it live again if people want that sort of thing. But they probably don't. But regardless, it is being done live. So, we're here live. Anyway, that's not the only thing. Sellout, listen, I have to be a sellout. Anyway, the second thing. At this point, it's already like 1:20 in the morning. I have like 3 hours of sleep, so I'm extremely tired. And not only am I extremely tired, but seeing depressing things is going to make me more tired, so I'm probably going to sound dead. During the other TikTok reactions, I'm a little bit more animated. This one, I'm going to be a little bit more toned down, a little bit more dead. That's why. Third order of business, if you guys want to send me anything, please send it to my main account on the left there, Tecnics on TikTok. And if it is sufficiently depressing, I will send it to this account and we will eventually see it. Which brings me to my fourth and hopefully final point. We are so behind. So I use TikTok more than I obviously react to these videos. And now the algorithm knows, or it thinks it knows, that I like depressing content, which I don't. But it thinks I like it because I keep sending it to myself. So now on TikTok, I'm getting more depressing content, which leads to more of a backlog of videos for us to get to. So there's a lot of videos. We're not going to get through all of them guaranteed tonight. Like, there's just no way. I'm too tired and we're not doing this for that long. Hopefully. We'll see, because typically these do run longer. And yeah, like, we are not going to get to this. Press F11? What does F11 do? Oh yeah, okay, that's pretty cool too. Well, actually, we can't do that because this goes to my fifth point. We actually are going to watch a YouTube video that I got from TikTok. And this, or I actually didn't get it from TikTok, but I thought it related. So we're doing like a hybrid TikTok reaction. Even though the majority of this is going to be TikTok, we're going to start it with the YouTube. So we're going to start it pretty depressing, but regardless, it's fine. Let's see this YouTube video here to start our night, or morning rather. So this just goes to show you, right? A lot of the videos we see are pretty much from America, right? They have to do with America. I mean, they're applicable to the larger world in general, sure, but a lot of them are just centered around America and how fucked we are here. So I thought I would show a little bit something outside of our border. You know, I may be American, but I do care about the outside world because most of my fans are not in America either. So anyway, let's see what's going on in Argentina. Look at this
Airport in
lady.
Argentina's capital is filled with homeless people.
Looks like New
It's a
York City.
snapshot of an economic crisis that's getting worse.
Like,
The
oh
Buenos
my
Aires
god. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. This person is disabled, right? They're disabled and they got pets with them. Now, granted, sometimes homeless people have pets with them to garner sympathy to get more money, but sometimes they just need a friend, man. And it's so heartbreaking to see because if you think about it like this, right? This homeless person probably has no one. So these animals are the only things that are going to give them unconditional love. And then the animals aren't having a good life. So do you take the animal away to give it a good life and make the homeless person's life even more shitty? Or do you keep it with the homeless person where it's not getting that good of a life as if it would with someone who has fucking money? It's like either way you're doing bad to someone. Are you gonna do bad to the animal or to the human? And unfortunately, in our world that we live in, most people would rather do bad to the human than the animal. Sometimes humans are treated worse than animals. Kind of crazy.
Newberry Airport has become an unofficial shelter for people like Laura.
This is so sad.
There's a lot of us sleeping here. In a
Look
few
at the
hours, there'll be more.
dog.
If you come at night, it's full of people. We come here because it's cold out. Here, at least, we can sleep.
Like, bruh, these people don't even have shelters to sleep in.
Roxana gets a
Oh
government
my
pension of about
god.
$200 a month. With an unexpected exchange rate, she often ends up with less.
See, and that's the fuck thing here, right? So I don't know what the currency is like in Argentina. I don't know what the conversion rates are, like how much you get for this. But the fact that it's variable, I mean, $200 already doesn't sound like a lot of money. But the fact that that's not always $200 is crazy. You thought we were watching 10-second videos? Oh, you haven't seen the TikToks I react to then.
One local charity says the number of people without a roof over their heads has soared 30% since 2019.
Dude, it's so sad seeing old people be homeless, man. You got some nice sneakers though. Holy shit.
Si yo pago el alquiler, no como.
If I pay rent, I don't eat. And if I pay for food, I'm on the street.
That's so sad.
Argentina's annual inflation reached more than 100% in February.
Okay, like what the hell? Like if you're the leader of this country and your inflation is going over 100%, we're having trouble in America because our inflation is around 5%. What the fuck is going on to have it be 100%? Like there's no way.
People have faced double digit inflation for years. But
Bruh.
this is the first time since 1991 it's been in triple digits.
So it's been at 100 before? Like, bro, whoever's ruling that okay, so two things are probably happening here. Number one, whoever's ruling the country is doing it terribly. Or number two, America's probably fucking it up. And it's sad to say that, but a lot of problems can be traced back to America because we just stick our grubby little hands in every other country and we just fuck it up for our own gain. It's sad, but that's the way the world works, and the big guy tramples the little guy. I don't know which one of those it is, but I'm pretty sure it's one of them. Like, if the government's fucking up, it's definitely because of corruption. If it's not their government fucking it up, it's ours fucking it up for them. Like, look at them.
The frustration is growing.
Of
Earlier
course it
this week,
is.
protesters demanded a salary increase in line with the rising cost of living.
Bruh.
Families say a government deal to restructure its $45 billion loan with the International Monetary Fund has yet to filter down and make a difference.
Crazy.
Back at the airport, Argentinians like Elizabeth say they feel forced to leave.
Bruh, you can't stay. Like, they're basically saying, like, okay, you can stay, starve, and die, or you have to leave.
I'm going to France.
Good
I
for
found
her.
a job there. Here the situation is difficult. My salary is not enough to pay rent. It doesn't matter how much they raise my salary. Inflation is too high.
She's among thousands of Argentinians who've decided to leave.
Not gonna lie, this looks very similar to the New York City subway.
Hoping one day, if things get better, to fly to that same airport and get back home.
This is
Katya
so
Lopez,
sad.
Al Jazeera.
Like, you know what's so sad about this more than anything else? It's like these companies that are there are making enough money to pay the workers. They just don't want to. And you know, I've said this before in other TikTok reactions, and like I say, I'm always going to repeat. After the first couple reactions, I'm pretty much going to repeat like 90% of the stuff I've said in the other ones. It's just me providing more examples of it, hopefully to change people's minds that it actually does exist. It's like, bro, these companies that are here, they can afford to pay them. They can afford to do this. They just don't want to, and people are suffering. I'm just wondering when it's going to get to the point where enough people are suffering where the rich people can't get away with it anymore. And again, more and more, I'm very scared, and I'm wondering, like, are we even going to be able to reach that point ever again? Because the rich are just getting too powerful. And I recently thought about it like this, too. The rich are literally using the poor against each other. The rich hire the poor to be their armies, to be their cooks, to be their cleaners, to be their whatever they need, right? And unless the poor come together, united, and say, no, we won't do it, the rich people at that point have no power. Because their power comes from us at the end of the day. But at the end of the day, a lot of people need to eat. A lot of people aren't going to go through that, right? They're not going to want to, or they just can't do it. Like, there's some people who just won't be able to because of their circumstance. And it's like the rich people, have power because there's always someone willing to accept their deal, which is not a good deal. Accepting their deals basically makes it worse for the rest of us. You know, that's what it is. Anyway, let's see more depressing shit, and hopefully let's go fast so I can get on with my night. Like I said, it's fucking 1:30 in the morning.
Good morning, good news! You don't
Good
need to pay your
news.
taxes this year,
Yay!
but only if you're rich. Last year,
Oh,
Americans owed $600
no.
billion in unpaid taxes, and most of that is owed by millionaires and billionaires who won't pay up. So why doesn't
Bruh.
the IRS just do its job? Well, it's because they're broke and lazy, but it's not their fault. Since 2010, the wealthiest members of Congress have systematically and deliberately removed the IRS's ability to audit the wealthy.
This is how you know things are fucked, right? If there's, and this is just further proof. It now again, Good Morning Bad News. I've talked about him before. He's very charged. He does put his sources. I never check up on them, but he does seem very, very much like he could be saying something like either misleading or fake. I don't know, but I feel like we definitely have to be careful with this guy. But what he's saying is true here. The rich saw something that could make them equal. The rich saw something that could take away their wealth fairly. So what did they do? They came together. They're the ones who write the rules, and they systematically made it weaker so it won't target them. What's happening? That's just what happens.
Problem is, if you're rich, your taxes are invariably more complicated, and in the event of an audit, you probably have the best tax lawyers money can buy, making it extremely expensive and time-consuming for the IRS.
Like, that's what I was baffled by. I didn't realize it before this, right? I was like, why don't they go after the rich? They can win a lot more money from the rich than they ever can auditing a poor person. If you think about it logically, and this is what I'll always go back to, I'll always go back to this idea of like explaining how a free-to-play game in the past would have been like good. The CEOs and game creators in the past would have looked at you like you're stupid, like, a free-to-play game? Why would we give our game away for free when we have to make money? It makes no sense. At first it doesn't, but then the more you think about it and the more you see it in reality, it actually does. It's the same thing here, where I didn't realize the reality. I was like, why are they going after the people that make 10, 20, $30,000, which, in America is nothing. New York is nothing. Right? Why are they going after these people, auditing these people, when they can go after the billionaire and get like how much money? And it never clicked to me that, again, they write the rules, and B, they can fight it to where they can bankrupt the IRS. They have more money. The rich people have more money than fucking countries. Like, entire geographical areas of people, they have more money than them. They could outright buy countries. So they can definitely fight a government agency like the IRS if the IRS is suing. They can afford the best lawyers who not only, they might not win the case, but they're going to drag it on to where the IRS literally can't do anything because they're bleeding money. We all know the government's not funding them. Like you said, it's crazy. It's a crazy cycle. It's so sad.
Meanwhile, those making less than $20,000 a year see shockingly high audit rates because it's easy and they can't fight. In 2020,
Crazy.
low-income workers were audited at a rate of 8 per 1,000, while the chances
Crazy.
of a millionaire being audited were just 2 out of 1,000. But wait,
Bruh.
didn't Joe Biden just direct the IRS to focus on high-income earners and pass legislation to increase IRS funding? He
Yes.
sure did, and that's why in 2022...
Okay, these little images are crazy. These horses like kissing the money is kind of crazy.
The audit rate on millionaires increased from 2 to 2.3. That's 13%. But at the same time, the audit rate for low-income workers jumped by 45%. So yeah, the IRS is doubling down on the poorest Americans. Good.
This is insane. Like, it's insane. Again, I don't know how truthful these facts are, but they have to be like mired in some sort of truth. Even if it's not the full truth, it's probably close to it. And I just don't understand. The internet is such a great thing because it opens our eyes to these things. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I don't understand how people can see this and they can keep getting away with it. Because the biggest thing before the internet was people didn't know this was happening. People didn't know our government was like this. Some people did, and they were called crackpots and they were called conspiracy theorists, right? Now, a lot more people know, but either A, it's not enough, or B, they have such a good grip and control on us through the media, through keeping us divided, or through just, making society hard enough to where either we don't care or we can't care, to where we're just fucked. And it's like, bro, what the fuck do we even do? It's just sad, man. These TikToks are depressing. And again, it could also be because I'm, up for how many hours with 3 hours of sleep. But, my goodness. Let's keep going. Very, very good start because it's so sad.
Hi there, engineering team. I hear that you feel your wages are unfair and you
Oh,
want
this
raises.
is a funny one.
Well, how's this?
So like I said, a lot of these I've sent myself like way past. Like it's been a while since I've sent these to myself. So I don't remember a lot of the ones we're gonna get through until like we get into them. The closer we get to, the current date, the more I'll remember them. But I remember this one. This one's funny. This one actually has to do with the real story, which I'll explain afterward.
For a raise. You're fired. Get lost. I have ChatGPT running on a 2019 MacBook Air in my office,
Bruh.
coding 20 times faster than you imbeciles.
It's not
I
even
don't
false
need you
what he's
anymore.
saying.
You have no leverage.
It's
Get that
insane.
through your thick career fair hoodies, you idiots.
Ooh.
Oh, I am so glad I won't have to see your socially broken asses walking around the
Wow.
open office plan anymore. How was your weekend, I'd ask? Oh, we're hiking and then getting hot pot. If I hear hiking and hot pot one more time, I will stick my head under the Caltrain wheels and
Oh
explode
my
it.
God.
Seriously, oh, it is so infuriating. You can't even make eye contact. ChatGPT makes better eye contact than you. It doesn't even have a face.
Wow.
Ah, I'm so glad to lose you. Hey, but if you do want a job, we have starting salaries for software engineers at $35K.
That's insane. I don't even think he's lying here. But anyway, yeah, so a lot of stuff can be covered with this one video, especially ChatGPT. I've said it in the last TikTok reaction too. I don't even know if we're gonna get to it in this reaction either, but AI is going crazy. I tried Google Bard out today. It's supposed to be like similar to ChatGPT. It's an AI learning algorithm. It's pretty cool. It's not great. I definitely stress tested it, and it's not like, amazing, but it's definitely getting there. It is definitely getting there. But anyway, yeah, this guy makes a good point. So at this point, right, if you can replace them, if there's AI that's coming, and I didn't think we were going to get to this. I thought this would be a theoretical in my lifetime, but with the rate that technology is going, I honestly think, we very well could see in my lifetime. And this was always a question I used to ask of what happens if AI takes out a lot of labor and there's more people, than there ever was before, because birth rates are declining, but there's a lot of humans on the earth, and then there's less jobs to support those humans. What do we do? But anyway, this little skit that this guy's doing, Mr. Tech Roast Show, very nice name. This was actually based off a couple of leaked things, because again, everything's on the internet now, of a CEO basically grilling her employees, basically telling them like, yeah, you guys aren't gonna get big bonuses because we underperformed, and it's your fault, and everything's bad because you guys like didn't work hard enough, and oh, you're sad you're not getting your bonuses. Well, too bad. Like, stop being sad and get to work. It was essentially like as dystopian as you could think of it. Meanwhile, the CEO, this lady, basically got like a couple million of like a bonus that year, and they're like, wait, she's getting a bonus but we're getting nothing? Like, what? I thought we didn't have enough for bonuses. Well, yeah, not for you guys, but for the leadership, of course. The best thing you could do is own something. And more, as Lewis Rossman says, you don't own anything. But anyway, yeah, pretty true. Pretty true. A lot of stuff in this video is very true. We're starting off very sad with this one. I like this. I don't like it, but I like it. It's good for the video. Next.
These aren't storm clouds.
Oh, they're not?
This is the fucking shit!
Oh my
They
god.
burn off the fucking shit they burn off in East
That guy's
Palestine!
angry.
It's been 2 weeks since the government decided it would be a smart idea to burn off the chemical spill caused by Southern Norfolk Railroad, and already towns
I
in
don't know if
Ohio
that's a
are
good
fucking
idea.
dead zones. Like, I mean, quite literally, the birds and the
Look
fish
at
are just
that
dropping
water.
dead. The leadership in that town's telling everyone it's safe to go back to their homes, but just in case you get itchy.
We've gone over this before too. We've gone over like the whole derailment thing in Ohio, in East Palestine, Ohio. Bruh, the government just lies. They either lie to like not cause panic to have people return and keep giving them money, or like they're just lying just to like save face, and it's not working because it's blowing up in their. I said before, like the internet really exposed people to things, especially the government does. Even though it's not changing anything like, hardcore, like worldwide, or like in any meaningful way yet, who knows if it will. The one thing it is changing, and the one thing like it actually is affecting, is people's trust in the government. And I think I've mentioned this before, but back in the day, before the internet, it used to be like 75% trusted their government. I think now it's near like a 25%, where it's like, bruh, 1/4 of the people trust the government to do things in their self-interest. Because of the internet, because of the leaks with the CEO saying like get out of, misery town and like work harder for your bonus. Like, bruh, we basically see like how things really are with the internet. It's crazy.
When you're outside, stay indoors for a little while and wait for everything to pass.
Yeah,
Oh, and
just
by the
drink
way,
the
don't drink
rainbow
the water.
water.
Like, fucking duh. The water's metallic rainbow. Like, it's tripping harder than half the people at Coachella.
We now know
Crazy.
3 more chemicals that were on board the Norfolk Southern train that derailed here in East Palestine.
I like how the guy is like taking turns looking at the video, then looking at us like, what the hell?
Over a week ago, and we're being told that some of those chemicals are dangerous.
Oh,
We
are
basically
they?
nuked a town with chemicals
I love his reaction. He's like, whoa.
so we could get a railroad open.
Let me speculate for 3 seconds because I read every single transcript from the local authorities and listened to the EPA, and this is what I think happened. It's kind of like, oh, lots of ethyl chloride, make go boom boom go away. Oh fuck, vinyl
Oh
chloride
my
boom boom, make other
God.
chemicals go boom boom. Now we have big boom boom cloud. And you know what the wildest thing about this entire situation?
What is
It's
it?
not the government and FEMA consulting Norfolk to be like, hey, is this shit safe to burn? And it's not like all the news companies and media talking about, oh yeah, we were successful at burning this shit and like making this thing safe.
Yeah,
It's
making it
this CEO's
safe.
half-ass apology and his offer of $1,000 to the residents in East Palestine.
Like, how much of a slap in the face is that? You ruin the neighborhood. You force people out their homes. If nothing else, they can't sell their homes and no one's going to want to move in there. So the price is plummeted, right? Let's just say you bought a house. You bought a house for like $200,000, right? You're in debt for it. You have a mortgage. You're paying it off. Then all of a sudden this happens. You leave your house, right? You can't live here anymore, or you shouldn't. Even though they say, come back. I don't think you should listen to them based on the water alone. And then they say like, okay, we're sorry, now your $200,000 house is worth like Jack Diddley. It's worth like what, 5K? And this guy's gonna give you $1,000 because like they fucked everything up, because like they have no checks and balances on themselves. They cut corners to rake in as much profit as possible, and it just doesn't matter. It's just so fucking crazy. It's so sad. Let's see his
This has
apology.
been devastating to this community, and
Or
I
has it?
want to make sure you
I love how he popped in, yo. You saw how he popped in.
understand. I am terribly sorry that this happened to the community.
You know what the better thing about saying sorry is? Now, see, saying sorry, it's a good thing to do. It's not like it's a bad thing to do, right? But you want to be in the position where you don't have to say sorry, where you can prevent the sorry from ever being said. And also, you want the sorry to be genuine. I have no doubt in my mind this guy is not sorry at all. Maybe he is to the slightest extent, but if you were sorry, you would have repaired the railways, because not we saw, but like it's been in the news how fucked up those railroads were and how they just didn't want to repair them after employees literally told them for years to do it. They just didn't want to do it. Why? Because they were greedy. And it's like, maybe all the decisions were not on this guy. I doubt maybe he even knew, right? It's probably someone below him. But, if your leadership, it starts at the top and you're going to get blamed for shit, so.
Norfolk Southern is fully committed to doing what's right for this community.
Like, what's right for the community? Oh, let's just give him $1,000 and call it a day. You know what's crazy, too? Them giving $1,000, right? Let's see. Let's see the population here for East Palestine. Let's actually look this shit up. Well, get out of Buffalo. East Palestine, Ohio population. Let's do some quick math at almost 2 a.m. Okay, it's even lower than I thought. I thought the population would be in like the tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands. It's not even 5,000. So you know what? Let's make the math easy. 5,000 times 1,000. Right? So if you're giving 5,000 people $1,000 each, you're giving the community essentially $5 million. Right? $5 million. Bro. What was their name? Norfolk Southern? What was the fucking railway? Railway that crashed in Ohio. Let's see their profit. Ready? Norfolk Southern. Here. Norfolk Southern profits. It's in the billions. It is in the billions. 3.13 billion. So let's do some more quick maths here, right? So remember, 5 million, which sounds like a lot of money to the average man. But remember, that's for a whole community. So what is 313 billion. I don't even know how to write this on the calculator. Fuck. 300. Okay, 3,000. 3 million. 313 million. My calculator doesn't even go that high. I can't even get that high. This is insane. So, let me do it this way. Hold on. I'm gonna put 999 million, and I'm gonna divide that by. I'm gonna divide 5 million. Fuck, 5 million divided by 999999999. It's less than 1%. Times this by 3. It's less than. Oh my god, this is insane. No, wait, no. Divide this by 3. Divide this by 3 again. Bro, it's less than 1%. They're giving away less than 1% of their profits for 1 year. This, like, place they've ruined. This is just sad.
It's this CEO. Now let's just pretend I don't know who that guy is. Like, I don't know he lobbied the fuck out of the Trump administrations to make sure they could roll back Obama era regulations to make sure that the trains were safer. Let's just pretend.
Yeah, let's pretend that the rich people aren't taking the rules away to make more money, and it's at our expense.
Forget all that shit. You know when you add a but at the end of your apology, it just negates everything you just said.
Frankly, that told us that there was success and that the opportunity for a much riskier event occurred because of what was in the rail.
Like, you know what's sad? This guy has more money than he will ever spend in his life, and he's not gonna get punished for this.
The residents of Ohio legit infected right now. They are breaking out in rashes.
They're becoming zombies.
They make $14 an hour. Like, where the fuck do you want them to relocate on the $1,000 you're giving them as a stipend?
This guy brings out, like, one of the best questions. Bruh, if they're working for $14 an hour, right? For $14 an hour, where the fuck are they supposed to go? Can I increase my audio slightly? Sure. There we go. There we go. This audio is slightly louder. I mean, it's also nighttime, so I am being quiet, but it's what happens when I start at fucking 1:30 at night, man. This is some bullshit. Anyway, yeah, like, this is just fucking terrible. This is just sad. Let's go to the next video. Fuck the owner of Norfolk Southern, though. What a piece of shit. Giving away less than 1%, 0.1% of your fucking profits for 1 year to this community you ruined. Okay, so this one's good. This one's a little slideshow, so I'll go through some of these, right? I think some of these are very good. Some of these are towards my generation. I think, you know, I'll just say which ones I agree with. So, the first one. Gen Zers won't even apply to a job. God fucking damn it. They won't even apply to a job if the salary isn't listed. This is some of the biggest bullshit I've seen. Thankfully, in New York, they're passing a law now. I don't know if they've passed it, but they're passing a law where you have to say the salary. Not this stupid range bullshit. No, you have to say what you're going to get paid. They can't tell it to you at the end of the 3-round interview you have to take when you're already roped in, right? When you wasted your time. They have to tell you at the beginning how much you're going to be paid to see if you're interested. I mean, meanwhile, it's not going to be anything crazy. It's not going to be anything livable, but at least they have to tell you. And the biggest thing I love about Gen Z is, more than any other generation, they just give the middle finger to everything. And I'm included in this. Like, they will just give the middle finger to people. They're like, oh, okay, this is the way it is. Well, you know what? I'm just not going to do it this way. And the employers are probably wondering, like, oh, you need a job, right? You need this, you need that. No, we'll just stay home with our parents. No, we don't care. We'll play games. We'll do other bullshit. And, you know, the workers are like, the old people are like flabbergasted. They're like, what? Now, obviously, it's not everyone, but there's a big push with my generation as the generation who's like trying to change things and who are very active with their voice, which is good. We just need the next step of that for things to really start changing, but it's a good step. And yeah, Gen Zers won't even apply. Good, fuck them. Fuck these jobs. So let's read this out. If you ask for a raise by yourself and your company doesn't want to give it to you, your boss might be completely within their rights to fire you, right? However, if you and even just one other coworker unite and go to the boss to ask for a raise together, legally, they can't retaliate against you. And the fact that they could if you're alone is even worse. That becomes protected concerted activity under the National Labor Relations Act, aka you're basically starting a mini union. So, another example of why unions are good. Next, if billionaires are worried about a wealth tax, they should get a second job and stop buying coffee and avocado toast and pull themselves up by their bootstraps and do a better job of saving. That is essentially, for those of you who don't get the joke, what they tell us. Oh, we don't make enough money. You know, inflation in Argentina is over 100 fucking %. Can you maybe give us more than a 4% raise? Oh, you just need to work harder. You need to make us more money. Like, are you kidding me? Are you serious? It's so like this. Sometimes I question how can this world be real. But anyway, 2023 is officially the 4th calendar year that student debt payments have been paused. If they can pause it that long, they should be canceled. It's a little bit more of a complicated topic, so I'm not going to agree with all of these little slideshow things here, but I think student debt is just evil. I think some people are going to have to go into debt to do certain things, but the level of debt that you get from schools, from financial institutions, is just fucking ridiculous. What is this? This is me doing the TikTok reaction live because I didn't want to fucking like restart the stream. Next. Oh, this one is so fucking like crazy. You want an extra 10-minute break. Rules: give at least 24-hour notice. Do not have to pick the same day. Cannot be added to your regular break. Expires, and you have to choose wisely. If this is not a joke, and the fact of the matter is, I can fully see it not being a joke with how the workplace is getting, it's actually insane. Things are getting so much more dystopian with the rise of technology and technological advancement. Even at my job, right? They're starting to implement software to track what we do when we do it, right? They've already been doing this, but now they're getting to the point where they're going to observe our screens. They're tracking our time even more heavily. It's like technology was supposed to help us, and it's just ending up hurting us in different ways. It's very sad. Next, Gen Z isn't ashamed of job hopping and will even quit unfulfilling jobs without a backup. Study finds. So this goes back to what we said before, right? Gen Zers are some of the people, listen, as crazy as the generation is, and I am Gen Z, as crazy as it is, why is the majority of it photos and not videos? It's just this specific TikTok. Everything else we saw was videos. We're going to get back to the videos after this, though. But a majority of like Gen Z is at least speaking out and they're doing something. Like, bro, other people would just take it up the ass. Other like generations would just take it up the ass. They learned to take it up the ass. And you know what? They actually got something for taking it up the ass. They got a 401k, which on the other episode I explained why those aren't around anymore. Now they have Roth IRAs. Well, not even Roth IRAs. That's like for you personally. But they have like simple 401k matches. They have simple shit which you do. Like it's insane. They have simple shit that is in your hands, and like I said before, people don't know how to navigate the stock market, where the companies had a fiduciary do it for you, who's it's their obligation to do stuff in your best material interest, in your best financial interest, and they got away with that because why would they have to pay for that? They don't have to do that. It's so stupid. It's so fucking stupid. Let's see next. Oh, but before we move from this one, job hopping, this is sad because it is very much a generational thing. If you are not happy and you are not fulfilled at your job, leave that shit immediately. Like, and this is something I can speak from experience with. My grandparents say if you get a job, you're lucky to have it. Don't leave, just tough it out, things will get better. Absolutely fucking not. If a job is disrespecting you, if a job is ass, leave that shit. Even if you got nothing planned, unless you need the money, which is like someone I know, leave that shit and go to something new. You're better off job hopping. Later generations are okay with hopping, but the older people and the boomers think that's bad. Of course they think that's bad. They're the ones who actually, own a lot of the businesses too, so it's not going to be good for them. Next! The reward for work well done is the opportunity to do more. It should be the opportunity to work more. I think that's what it's saying. Wisconsin Senate approves a bill allowing 14-year-olds to work as late as 11 p.m. And supporters say it could help plug the labor shortage. Like, again, I hear these things, and I'm thinking, are we not in the future? Well, not the future. Are we not in the present where we have technological advancements where child labor was historically seen as bad? Like, we're not doing that anymore. We're better than that. And we're going back to it. Like, there's two reasons why this is happening, I think. Number one, because families just need more money. And number two, because corporations want to make more money because they don't have enough already. Even though they have billions of profits, which they can't spend in one lifetime. Who knows? Let's keep going. Why does calling in sick feel like a crime? Because that's what the workplace has basically made the culture be like. Calling in sick, if you feel bad for calling in sick, which I definitely do, because then you get behind on work and everything, it's so tragic, like, how the culture has shifted. It's very sad. But it's definitely very much done intentionally. Next. Work is not... Oh, listen to this bullshit. I have a lot to say for this. Work is not meant to be fun. This is your job. Do not dedicate work time to discussion of non-work topics. Do not facilitate friendships during work. Exchange phone numbers and or hang out after work is complete. And then reach me at some fucking idiot number if a coworker is having a non-work discussion on company time. This is so disgusting, right? And the worst part is they put the minion underneath it with a little meme that makes it seem like it's true, but it's not. This is where we're getting into scientifically provable things, right? We're getting into things that, what causes depression, what is not good for people's mental. Doing the same repetitive task and getting, jack shit for it is not good for people's mental health, right? People are not stupid enough to where they think this is good. And the fact that this person is saying like, oh yeah, work is for work, no fun allowed in the workplace. The best employees are the ones that are happy. I don't think employees go to work and they're being told don't have fun are going to be happy. Employees who are happy do a better job. This is a provable thing. It's a provable thing. And you know what the worst part about this is? At the end, he says, be a snitch. Yo, man, all I'm saying is snitches get stitches. Next. Someone stole $950 worth of items from a Walgreens. There were 309 stories about it. Walgreens was caught stealing $4.5 million from employees. It got one story. Media covers things up well. 16 and 17-year-olds should not have their paychecks taxed because they can't vote. Well, this goes into a little bit of a debate. See, this one, I'm not too against it, but it's a slippery slope for this one because at that point, right? Should we pay for retirement if we're not guaranteed it? What if we die before we're retired and we were just paying into something for the greater good? At that point, I think there should be funds for the greater good, especially if you can't access it yet. But I do agree, like, if you're getting taxed and you can't vote to not get taxed or change the taxes, then it's a little bit of a good argument. Not a little bit, a lot. How many slides are in this thing? Holy shit. If you get caught talking about discussing your pay with anyone here, you will be suspended for a week. This is a very big tactic jobs do. And they're actually straight up lying if they do this, at least in America. I don't know about other countries, but if they say you can't discuss your pay with others, that's illegal. It is straight illegal. You can discuss your pay however much you want. They can't punish you for that. It's called retaliation. It's illegal. Granted, that doesn't stop them from doing it because A, people don't know the laws, and B, they let the job get away with it. Or C, the actual Department of Labor that's supposed to prevent that from happening doesn't do its job properly. Basically, everything's fucked. Everything's fucked. But this is the main thing, and this goes back to the culture argument of they portray and they put forth this culture of don't talk about your pay, don't have fun at work, don't do things with each other, right? Don't fraternize at work because then you might start talking, find out each other's pay, and then start a union. And who's that bad for? The company. And I think we're on the last one here. Do not panic, organize. God, this is so true. This is so fucking true. And the founding fathers had it right. Remember that little image with the snake from the Revolutionary War in in America's founding? Together we will be strong, but separate we will be stepped on and die. It was like the cut up snake. That really it rings true for today too. But anyway, really good slideshow. I just want to show that. Again, I didn't want to spend too long on it, but as I always say with these episodes, we spend really long on them. I mean, this episode's already 40 minutes. But anyway, let's keep going. I want to get through a decent number of these because we're so behind on them. It's so sad.
You're finding yourself wondering, hey, why have all the CEOs?
Oh, and this is what I was talking about before. This is the thing I brought up before on the guy who made the Giga Chad face. what he was making fun of, it's this shit. This shit's so funny, but it's so sad.
Suddenly gone insane. Let me help you. By now, I think we all know these two people. Here's what I think no one's really talking about.
You know what's sad? This is old news. Like, this has to be at least half a month or older of, like, old.
These are not isolated incidents. I think everyone who has experienced the corporate world has experienced these rants.
True.
The difference is that before, there was an expectation that these were private.
Not with the internet anymore. If the one good thing that comes out of the internet, it's transparency. You know, it's sad that people are going to see the truth of things, and that's one of the reasons why I like to do this series. It's to show the truth of things. The truth is depressing, the truth is sad, the truth is fucked up, but at the end of the day, it's the truth, and people need to know.
And that is absolutely...
That's how things really change.
Absolutely over. It's incredibly easy for these private communications to get leaked. And there's no repercussions for the person that leaked it.
Good.
Just for these folks. I have heard both of these rants a million times about
the truth is not in your Lolo Alpha.
How people are lazy, people aren't doing their jobs, people don't care enough about the company. I think what CEOs didn't realize is that we were all just nodding along because we had no choice but to listen to them, and
because we need money.
And there were no repercussions for them before. I will tell you, they are not sorry. I read her apology. I don't think she's sorry for what she did/said at all. From this point forward, you should assume that those communications could go public at any time. Hopefully that puts a little bit more of a moral compass on things. While your employees can't judge you, the court of public opinion can't.
Something they should care about a lot. Public opinion affects sales. But, you know, it's really sad that, you know, these CEOs get away with this shit. Granted, like, you know, like this lady is saying, and like I always say, the internet is casting now a spotlight on it. Who knows if it's going to change anything? But the biggest thing is, that's good, is that these old fucking fossil CEOs sometimes don't know how to even use a computer, so won't even realize they're being recorded. It's so funny. Like, there was a whole era when pandemic hit, how, like, all these YouTubers would make content raiding Zoom classes and just harassing people. Now, while that was morally wrong because, you know, you're stopping a class that someone is either paying for or going into debt for, overall, it just shows, like, how stupid a lot of these people are with technology. A lot of old people, CEOs and stuff, sometimes they don't even know how to turn on a computer. And you would think I'm joking or making some sort of exaggeration, but as we saw in a previous TikTok reaction video, members of our own government have to be asked, do you know how to turn on a laptop? The people who control our country, who make the rules, aside from the rich, have to be asked, do you know how to turn on a computer? Let that sink in.
There's not one of you here.
And this is the actual video of the CEOs roasting the people. So I was wondering, like, why isn't it in the other one? But I remember I sent it again. I sent the actual one.
And I challenge any one of you to outwork me, but you won't. I'm all in what we're doing here at Clearlink, and I want you to know it and feel it.
See, he's not saying something too bad here, but he is at the same time. He's basically saying, like, oh, I am dedicated to this company. I put in more than all of you. You're the fucking CEO, you dumb bitch. Are you stupid? You own the company. You better be putting the most in. You have the biggest stake in it. You have the biggest to gain. And yes, while you do have the biggest to lose, you're probably gaining way more than you're ever going to lose. Because once you gain, you know, whatever $1 billion you make, how the fuck are you going to lose that?
To be away from your family. I learned from one of our leaders that in the midst of hearing this message, went out and sold their family dog. Some have all...
Like, bruh, this is some fucking sick, demented shit. This guy heard, oh, you know, we're not making a lot of money at the company this year. The bonuses are going to get cut. So this employee went out and had to sell his dog. Like, oh my God.
Already quietly quit their positions, but are taking a paycheck. In 1 month this year alone, I got data that about 30 of you didn't even open or crack open laptops. And those are all remote employees, including their manager, for a whole month.
I like the little captions at the top here, by the way. He wanted the company to increase productivity 30 to 50 times because they want to use AI. Again, another like showing of how AI is going to ruin things for workers if done incorrectly.
Yes, it's very difficult to source an adequate and trusted healthcare professional for your...
Like, I love the captions at the top saying what he's actually meaning.
Children. Brett, as I'd mentioned, breadwinning mothers were hit the very hardest by this pandemic. And
yes.
While I know you're doing your best Some would say they've even mastered this art. But one could also argue that generally this path is neither fair to your employer nor fair to those children.
Like, bruh, he's basically saying you have to pick one. Either take care of your child and quit, or leave your child and focus on your work. Like, what the flying fuck? This guy is in such a fucking position to say that, right? The guy who probably doesn't have to work. Now, again, he is all in on the company, but he can afford to do that. He can afford to get a nanny. He can afford to, not really raise his kids and have no relationship with them, but still have them fed, right? The woman doesn't probably have that, like, privilege. She has to go out and she can't pay a nanny, or she does, but she's in, debt. And, like, she has no choice. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy how this guy is saying, like, oh yeah, just keep working for me, forget your child. Like, bruh. This guy probably takes, like, how much vacations for how long and, like, gets to do whatever he wants. It's fucking disgusting. I wonder if we have the one with the lady. We're gonna see. Let's
A
go
new
next.
survey suggests millions of Americans are struggling in the shadows.
Oh yes, we are.
Even before the widely expected recession arrives.
So again, these are old, right? These are pretty old TikToks from like last month or something. All the talks about recession, basically it's not an if anymore, it's a when. Even the Fed is coming out and saying it now. They're saying, like, yeah, when the recession hits, we expect there to be a slight recession. The Fed has always downplayed it, and it's so sad. There's this guy on YouTube that I watch called Clear Value Tax. He's very informative, very good at giving you the facts. And he's basically said for a while now, like, if we're not in a recession already, there's guaranteed going to be one. And he said that for a long time.
The survey by LendingTree found almost half of Americans now use buy now, pay later. So you get the goods now and you pay in installments.
Like, what the hell? That's like a credit card almost.
That's up 18 times since pre-pandemic.
Lovely.
And almost 1 in 10 Americans are literally using buy now, pay later to buy their groceries.
Bruh. 1 in 10 Americans, right? 10% of the population has to buy groceries on credit. Like, things you need to survive.
This matches other data saying millions of Americans are running into trouble, and this is just the first inning. Last week, CNBC reported that over half of Americans now live paycheck to paycheck, meaning they have no emergency funds at all.
Oh my
and
God.
70% of Americans are financially stressed. That's up by half since pre-COVID.
Like, I can't imagine. Like, this is the thing that baffles me, right? In the workplace, and I've seen this and I know this to be true for a lot of industries, a lot of areas, right? You have people who have the job who are either mediocre at their job, they're lazy, they don't want to work, and I don't blame them, right? We're not going to get into morality here. But these people, for better or for worse, either don't work a lot, don't want to work, or are incapable of doing work because they're stupid. And what ends up happening is the select few who are actually good workers carry the fucking company and make the most money. And this is basically like, it's like, at what point is it going to hit a limit where there's not even enough good workers and there's just so many people not doing enough? Because having a terrible society affects everyone's mental, affects everyone just health-wise, and it's going to bring, like, just production down in general. Now, granted, is it going to be enough to outweigh the select few who always, like, go above and beyond and just carry the whole department or anything? I don't know. Guapo de la fruta? I have no clue what that means. But it's just crazy. Like, at what point, where's the tipping point? Where's the breaking point?
But don't worry, Biden tells us the economy is, quote, strong as hell.
I've heard him say that so many times. He's such a liar. The government, as we saw with East Palestine, Ohio, they're just lying like crazy.
Now, a big part of what's driving all this was lockdown handouts that pushed millions of Americans to ramp up the lifestyle and wind down the income. Between 3 rounds of stimulus checks, unemployment compensation that at one point was paying $2,600 per month.
Okay, that's a little crazy. Wait, is that correct? 800 times 4. So actually in New York, believe it or not, you actually got paid more. Unemployment in New York, if you got it at a certain right time, you got paid at least $800 a week, which would equate to $3,200 a month, which in a year would honestly not be that much money. Honestly, it would be about $38,400, which ironically enough is near what I make. What I make working full time. Oh my God. You paid $3 for 2 little packets of Motrin. Used to pay $1 for 2. You know what the craziest part is? Everything in price. I feel like an old person, right? And this just goes to show you how much inflation has got out of control. I feel like an old person when I remember the Utz chips, like the Utz sour cream and onion chips, being $1 for the big ass bag. Now those shits are like $5 fucking, $4 or $5. I'm like, bro, back in my day, this shit was $1. Like now, I never buy chips anymore because it's not worth it. It like kids younger than me will never know like how cheap things used to be, and even in our time, they weren't even that cheap. Back in our parents and grandparents' time, they were like dirt. It was crazy. Yeah, 250 for a Snapple. Get the fuck out of here. Like it's crazy.
And went for ultimately 53 weeks,
Insane.
paired with temporary, no questions asked benefits during the pandemic.
Which they literally had to do. Like they had to put no questions asked because if people weren't allowed to go to work to make money to that level, I think the rich people and the government knew collectively, okay, we have to give them money or else too many of them are going to riot and society's going to collapse. There's no way.
And soaring blue-collar wages since millions of Americans were being paid to chill on the couch. Between all of that, people spent more and they worked less.
Amazing.
But that's all gone at this point. Real wages have now fallen going on 3 years straight.
Oh, they've fallen way more than that.
They're now down to just $1,500 per month in median full-time earnings.
That's disgusting.
So, the trillion-dollar mirage ran out of money, and now reality is hitting.
Oh, boy.
In just the past 16 months, credit cards are up $130 billion, hitting a new record that obliterated the stimulus check payoffs.
Lovely.
43% of those cards are carrying balances, meaning people cannot pay them off every month, so they are accruing interest at a nationwide average of 21%.
That is evil. People don't realize how strong these percentages are. Right now, the Fed has basically raised the federal borrowing rate to about like I think 5 point something%. It's above 5% now, and the banks are offering like 3 to 5% if you're lucky on a savings account of APY interest every year, right? And that is considered very high. So that's what they're offering on CD accounts and some savings accounts, right? Credit card interest is 21% compounding. Like, once you get into debt, it is so hard to get out of debt. And the more and more Americans are carrying a debt, especially since wage growth is not keeping up with inflation, more and more people as time goes on are going to be struggling, suffering, and just carrying debt for the rest of their lives. And it's very tragic. And again, we're just hopefully going to hit a breaking point eventually, but who knows?
As bad as that is, now people are flocking to the next rung down the ladder, driving that 18x jump in buy now, pay later. Now, the problem here is that these revolving credit schemes can be a trap for the very low-income people who use them. For starters, buy now, pay later can charge late fees ranging from $8 to $15 or 25% of every single purchase, plus the NSF or overdraft fees, and horror stories about being charged for canceled orders or trying to rebuild credit after an error gets sent to collections. One survey found 42% of buy now, pay later users have in fact made late payments and got to develop that deeper relationship with their lender. But the worst part is that long-term buy now, pay later plans can charge an annual rate up to 36%. That's almost double the 21% on credit cards and literally entering mafia territory.
He's not joking here. Like, this is legit what the fucking mafia crime syndicates would do. This is how much money they would ask from you. Think about that. You're going above 30% of interest. At that point, it's nearly impossible unless you're like upper middle class to upper class to pay off your debt because you're just accruing it so fast.
Taken together, these can put low-income people on a treadmill that gets faster and faster, going deeper into debt, that grows faster than they can pay it off. Now, zooming out, between the car loan defaults, the mortgage bust, the crashing business loans, and 18x jumps in revolving credit, we are seeing a picture of top-line GDP numbers that say everything is fine. But if you look under the numbers at what people are actually doing, working 2 to 3 jobs to get by,
which shouldn't be the case. You should only have to work one.
buying groceries on installment.
Fucking disgusting.
It suggests there are millions of people struggling already. If you throw in the widely expected recession,
which we're already pretty much in,
you conclude that if things don't change, if we don't cut federal spending, normalize rates, free up job creation, we could see millions of those struggling Americans lose their grip altogether.
And if there's something that's dangerous, it's someone who has nothing left to lose. Like, it's actually crazy.
Okay, we'll be watching. See you next time.
Oh boy. So I know for a fact I sent this guy to myself a couple more times. I don't know if we're going to get to him, but I'm kind of thinking I want to end it soon. I'm so tired and I still have other shit to do. But let's watch a couple more. See? Okay, we got another slideshow here. I'm just going to go through this quickly. So Bed Bath & Beyond executives bankrupted the company while paying themselves $71 million. Now the CEO is stifling thousands of workers on their severance pay, and she's poised to make $7.1 million after Bed Bath & Beyond literally dies. So again, the rich are just hoarding money from people. And from who? From the workers. This is the guy sleeping. How's your shift? Yeah, I would always put... See, this is the sad part too. You can't be honest in the workplace, because if you don't act happy, you're not fitting the company culture and they get rid of you. For the next slave in line who's willing to take dirt wages to like pretend to be happy so their company looks better. Oh, now look at this. 2009, $690 a month. That sounds like, back then when I heard that, I was like, wow, that's so much money. That's so much rent. Now in 2023, it's $1,150. And you know what's sad about that? That still sounds low to me now. Now, usual rent to me is $1,500 to $2,000, in that range, if not more. And I live in the Bronx, in the shitty ass place in New York, and rents are this expensive. And at the bottom, we see minimum wage has not changed federally, I believe. Okay, this is nonsense. This is just stupid. Oh, this is perfect. So this represents what your day is like when you're an adult. You sleep ideally for about 6.5 hours. For me, this would be about 3 to 4. Yeah, have a good night, Rodriguez. Or have a good rest of your day, I guess, because it's not night for you. Prep and then drive to work. Work for a majority of your day, more than you fucking sleep. Drive back home. Do what you need to do. Actual free time. Your actual free time is about 3 hours-ish, which realistically, for me, I've done the math. I would have about 2 hours of free time to myself if I slept 8 hours, if I did everything I was supposed to. It's fucking sad. See you later, Rodriguez. Let's see the other ones. Oh, this one is so funny. This one is actually funny. Again, these are some of the things where you question, like, is this real life? Because any competent, logical person who reads this would think, like, where's the logic here? Right? And now this is what we're talking about. The latest tech scam is this thing called Marty the Robot. It costs $35,000. It looks like a glorified giant fucking dildo that they put fucking googly eyes on to make it personable. And all it does is it detects trash and it yells an alarm for a wage worker to come and pick it up. So you're having the $35,000 robot basically tell someone, hey, come clean this up. It can't clean it up itself. You could honestly save more money hiring someone at minimum wage to do this. I don't know why they got a robot for it, but maybe the robot's cooler. Maybe the robot's less of a risk of, like, sexually harassing someone or offending someone. Who knows? But this is just so fucking hilarious. The unofficial tally of Amazon warehouse unionization votes, right? So yes, 463, no. No. I honestly don't understand the point of this, because I know a lot of Amazon people want to unionize. That's the thing they want the most, but Amazon does not want that. Humans living out their extremely fulfilling lives in the greatest economic system ever created. This is literally me at work. Not, well, A, because I'm depressed, but B, because I'm sleep deprived too. I exist to provide labor to my employer. In return, I receive just enough money to provide for basic shelter, food, and transportation, which is not true anymore. So I can return the next day and labor for my employer again. I will do this day after day and be thankful for the privilege. This sounds like the older generation here. I'll do this week after week, month after month, and year after year until my health and body can no longer provide value to my employer, then I will die. Thankfully, because of health, and technology advancements, now we can actually have some time when we're older. It's just we're older, so a lot of things suck and are harder for us. But we do have some light at the end of the tunnel. Unless they keep increasing the retirement age to like fucking like 90 or something, who knows? It's so cruel that these magnificent creatures spend their whole lives enclosed in tiny spaces. And then you have me in the cubicle right there. The saddest part of this is oh my god, I just noticed the noose on the right. The saddest part of this is honestly like I feel like the human race, a lot of people in lower end jobs are stifled. Not only just creatively, but mentally too. Like I feel like we've missed out on so many Einsteins, so many like really smart people because they were just like fucked by the system and they weren't given a chance to thrive. Like it's very sad. Let's keep going. This is bullshit. Why do poor people exist? What a great question. Everyone is laughing at you, wage cut. Can you hear it? Oh my god. And lovely cubicle quote of the day. Don't think outside the box, follow the process. Yeah, be a slave. That's essentially what they're saying. Let's go next.
I don't want to live in a hole anymore.
Okay, so this is another slot. I'm just gonna let it be
feel poor.
We are poor, but we're happy.
Come see, come ça.
Americans are dying younger, saving corporations billions. That's how they view human life at this point. They don't view it as actual humans, they view it as a profit, which is sad. Business people are just evil.
Credit card debt just hit an all-time high in the United States. We now owe over $1 trillion in credit card debt, which is up 15% in the past year. And
I remember what we said about credit card debt. The interest rates are so high, most people will never pay it off. They'll actually owe more in interest than they ever owed on the credit card itself.
Fortunately, more and more people are turning to credit cards in order to keep up with the rising costs of inflation.
And literally buy food.
And if you're one of these people, there is help out there. JG Wentworth offers a program that saves clients a significant portion on their credit card balance, meaning they can enroll you in a program.
Is this a fucking ad?
With one affordable month.
From JG Wentworth 877 cash
to try and lower what you. We can make that credit card balance a thing.
Okay, so this is an ad. What the hell is this? I forgot why I sent this to myself. I guess just for the statistics of how shitty things are.
If you've ever taken melatonin, listen up. Please stop taking it for sleep. Online blogs don't talk about the serious complications that come along with taking melatonin. But did you know that it was banned in the UK without a prescription?
If those Brits are banning it and they eat fucking like fish on fucking toast with beans, then you know it has to be bad.
Because of its side effects? Melatonin is not an herb or mineral like other supplements. It's a hormone. And the fact that we have access to an over-the-counter hormone is scary. Like any hormone, the more you take of it, the less your body produces naturally. The reason it's banned in the UK is because their health officials understands it ruins your body's natural melatonin production.
I was gonna say circadian rhythm, but basically the same thing.
Melatonin is the chief hormone that helps regulate your circadian rhythm. But you can reverse the side effects if you stop taking it. The first thing you should do when you wake up is allow sunlight to be in your eyes. When your eyes observe sunrise and sunset, it helps to reset your body's natural circadian sleep rhythm. Instead of taking hormones or sleeping pills with horrible side effects, try mouth taping and nasal breathing for a natural alternative for the best night's sleep possible.
Okay, I don't believe that. But yeah, this one I sent just because,
if you've ever taken melatonin...
Oh yeah, I remember why. I'm getting so tired, I'm like forgetting shit. The main reason I sent this is just to show like, there's a lot of times in my history that I was alive where people said like, oh, X thing has no negatives, it's only positive. You know, it does so many things, it's a miracle drug, it's the panacea. And they've have all historically been proven lies. If someone is telling you something too good to be true, most likely it's not true. And granted, there's sometimes where it is. But like, bruh, for the longest time I always heard melatonin has no bad side effects, this and that. Always do your due diligence, and if anyone's selling you or telling you there's no downside to something, question them. I'm not saying they're wrong, but just question them. But anyway, I think that's all I have in me for today. So yeah, I think we're gonna stop there. We didn't get through much, unfortunately. Hopefully I'll do another do another TikTok reaction soon. Catch up on things. We're literally not even halfway through them. It's so crazy. But that's gonna be it for now. I'm really tired and I got other stuff to do. Anyway, I hope everyone enjoyed this episode. We kept it near an hour, which is good. I believe it's episode 10, hopefully. And again, I did this live. Come to twitch.tv/Tecnics channel. You can watch these things live with me while I react to them. Anyway, that's it. Hope everyone enjoyed. Eee!